In case you missed it, there's a new police team investigating the death of Tupac. It reads, "The new Vegas police team investigating Tupac's death found crazy evidence so far. Why is no one talking about this?" Interviews with officers revealed that Tupac was an industry plant with the task of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
With the plan not working, he passed shortly after. It ended in a very suspicious way, so the police kept digging. They found a random interview from 2010 with a rapper named Treach. Treach was interviewed about Tupac before a show. Treach and Tupac were close homies back in the day, even working on a couple of albums together. But here's where things get very interesting. After Treach's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording and put his camera on the floor. In the footage, you can hear the interviewer asking Treach about Tupac, to which Treach responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows. Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Then just 3 weeks later, a video released from a news website showed a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot in Cuba.
Zoom in. That's Pac, man. He went to outlaw and Reg from Holla Back. He's trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This created the theory that Tupac was alive in Cuba ever since. However, now in 2025, it doesn't seem like a theory anymore. As the police want the answer right now, the news even wrote new updates are happening in Tupac Shakur's murder case. Rappers in the industry, from Snoop Dogg, Knight, and Diddy, are about to be arrested and questioned. Where it's likely this interview from Snoop Dogg that made the feds begin to wonder his involvement.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
He was supposed to be in that BMW with Tupac and Knight on that night, but after some last-minute changes, he suddenly didn't go. At the time, 2 decades ago, Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets. Many speculate Snoop could have received a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted on that night, so he avoided going in the car. The feds then found another interview where Snoop claims that 2 days before Tupac died, he felt Tupac hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with them. And I just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you tell me you want to do a song with it. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
With the internet going into a frenzy, millions of fans would begin investigating it. They found 2 Knight interviews that happened 10 years apart. However, Knight says the same thing, that Tupac is alive and living well. According to him, Tupac was doing fine in the hospital before his alleged passing. As he states, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking, so I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
But what's weird about this is that Tupac was supposedly in a coma, so how in the world could he and Knight be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? Even in a 2008 interview, Knight said Tupac was alive and well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital, he was conscious in the ambulance, he was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
Only 2 weeks after Knight leaked this information in that interview, he almost lost his life at a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. However, Knight was hesitant to tell the police anything, as he immediately knew it was likely from talking about Tupac in a public interview. Knight's son would make the same mistake. In 2018, Knight's son took to Instagram to state that Tupac was still alive and living in Malaysia. After Knight Jr. posted this, he posted another photo on Instagram showing a text conversation where someone said, "You said too much, it's time for you to go." We would then see Knight's son post photos of Tupac alongside modern-day celebs like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He made it seem like someone was after Knight Jr. for leaking all this info. On the pic with Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us. They'll be after me soon." While some believe this was all a publicity stunt for Knight's son to gain clout, others think that it was all factual and that Knight Jr. would be the one to know more about this case than anyone else in the world, considering his father was right there on the scene. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with the head of his record label, Knight. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, and after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby as explained here.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly,
as security would break up the altercation between Tupac, Knight, and the ops. Tupac and Knight went back to their hotel to change and then off to a club to party it up. At around 11 p.m., they began heading to the club when things would go down in the street, as explained here.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
With the incident being a mystery for over a decade, the police investigated a concerning interview by Keefe D on DJ Vlad's show. As during an interview, it begins with him detailing the moments of finding Tupac and pulling up on him.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light. We was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Keefe D then said Tupac was targeted because he was reaching for his firearm when stopped at the red light with the opposing vehicle.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
As Tupac already knew something was about to go down, as he was getting ready but sadly wasn't fast enough. But Keefe D's interrogation with the police that's never before seen was recently shared.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
During the police's investigation, they also found Keefe D's reaction to Tupac's passing, which shows his true emotions.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. Wish it never happened, dude.
However, this is where things get weird. Keefe D wrote an entire book on being involved in Tupac's passing, titled Compton Street Legend, including interviews hinting towards doing the crime. Why is he now being arrested after decades? Fans believe it's a cover-up and that Tupac's still alive.